3, 2, 1.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to 20 Somethings. It's your boy Ibram, and I'm here with my usual co-hosts, the lovely Cheyenne and Christian. And we have a very special guest, one of my good friends, one of my good homeboys, Nasir, the founder of Well Kept Money. So we're just going to jump right into it. Nasir, how did you get into you becoming this financial guru?
So I'm not a guru. I'm a financial education specialist. That's what I like to call myself, because guru makes me feel like I'm putting a ceiling over myself and I don't have an opportunity to still grow.
Right.
But for me, I've been broke all my life. So growing up, I never had an understanding of money.
Right.
When I got my first bank account at 16, my grandma took me to the bank and I literally overdrafted my bank account all the time. And I know we hear those stories all the time on Instagram. I'm not selling that story, but that's literally what happened with me.
Right.
But one day I was 17. I walked into TD Bank at the time. That's where I was banking, and I asked the banker at the time, how do you what does it take to work at a bank? I thought it was amazing to see people coming out of the bank with suits on and stuff like that. Just because it was you model what you see. So I never saw somebody in a suit where I lived at growing up. So to see somebody coming out of a suit was like a change of my environment. So I was like, yo, I got to be there.
What are you guys' relationship with money? Because I know me personally, I'm in a situationship. I'm not good with money, so it's like a bad ex. 1 minute they there, next minute they not there, and then the next minute they hitting you up saying what you doing, big head? I'm like, where you been at? Where you been?
Yo, when I literally feel the same exact way. Honestly, I really have the craziest relationship when it comes down to money, and I think it's not that I can't save money or I'm quote unquote bad with money, but I just think, number one, as a millennial, you know us, we like to go out, we like to have fun, we like to just do us, but we're also not knowledgeable of how to not only get money, because that's the easy part, but to maintain it. Not people, I'm gonna say myself as well, we're not educated on credit, so all of that coming into
or
play.
even how to balance a checkbook, right? Or how to save your money, what you should be saving for.
Yes.
So that's why we have Nasir here to tell us how should 20-something-year-old people be saving, and what should they be saving for?
So there's a whole lot of crazy principles of how much you should save, and this is what you should save, and this is how you should do it. It really all depends on your financial picture, what you envision for yourself going forward. Do you want to buy a home, right? Do you want to start a business? Do you want to pay down the debt, student loan debt that you may have? Or do you because most of us we start backwards, and that's why I really got started with doing what I do, was because it got kind of, for me, it got kind of overwhelming to continue to see, people that look like me and come from where I come from continue to struggle, because we start backwards. We start out in debt, right? Or we start out with 15 credit cards.
Yes.
Or we start out with having bad money problems instead of being educated and kind of changing that whole, landscape, and kind of instead of me getting myself into debt, let me figure out strategically how I can pay for school, right? Or instead of me getting a credit card just so I can, get this new trip, go on this trip so I can post on social media and have everybody thinking I'm doing my thing out here, and I'm really not. But, for me, saving is really a mentality of what you have to figure out what you want to save for.
Yeah.
So, because I feel like if you just saving to save, that's when you typically say, you know what, I'm gonna just transfer this $200 out of my savings account, because it doesn't have,
Guilty.
you're not, I operate like a business. That's how my mindset is for me personally. I operate like a business. A business has a budget, right? They allocate their money for certain things, and if it ain't in the budget, they ain't giving it up.
So let me throw some scenarios at you.
Okay.
All right, we have 20-something-year-old Sean who just finished college, and he's trying to tackle saving for, not saving, but tackle his student debt and his loans. How should he save for that? How should he tackle his student loans?
So student loan, actually, a lot of people look at it as this big thing over top of their head, right? But we have so many breaks. So when you're going to apply for a mortgage, only 1% of that total debt is actually counted towards your debt to income ratio.
Oh, wow.
Right? And then we look at it also as we got to get rid of it, And we got some people that post on social media that they got rid of $259,000 in student loans. And I'm just how did you do that? I need to know that story so that I can be able to dissect what you did. But to answer your question, student loans is going to be one of the cheapest debts you ever have, because because it's a fixed rate that's locked in for whatever term you're agreed upon with your student loan, processor, right? So if you got $100,000 student loan today that you owe, right, and your interest rate is 3.5%, you're locked in at the 3.5% for the next 30 years potentially, right? And then when people in the next 15 or 20 years go get student loans, the rates could be 10%. So you actually have a cheaper rate than them. So why not just continue to pay the $350 that you're paying every month, right? Or the $250, whatever your payment agreement is, why not continue to pay that instead of just focusing on putting all your energy into eliminating that debt, because that debt is the cheapest debt that you're going to have. And I know that's like an oxymoron, because it's like, well, what is cheap debt?
Why do I want to live
right, why do I want to live with
yeah,
cheap debt?
Yeah.
But because it doesn't really affect how you're going to be able to maneuver when you're going to do life events like apply for a home.
I feel like you can't talk about millennials and the financial game without addressing the elephant in the room, which is Forex trading. I'm sure we've all seen it on all of our Instagrams, but I just want to make sure that we actually understand
I had
what
somebody
it
literally
is.
slide in my DMs.
Oh yeah, that's the new tactic, is
About
sliding in your
Forex.
DMs. Are you
I'm like,
interested? Are you interested? So what exactly, because I do know it's actually a legitimate thing, Forex trading, but maybe the way that it's being used is kind of a new type of thing that may be making people a little bit more skeptical about it.
Yeah, so so I'm gonna be very transparent. I've been ignorant to it, right? I haven't really studied it much.
Yeah.
But Forex is being, put into our community as this way to just make a quick buck, because we all want to make money, right? If I got $20, I need to figure out how I can flip this and make it to $40, right? We got people that literally want the instant success and with like trying to compound their money. So with Forex, people are now selling a platform to do trading, but they're not teaching you how to trade on this platform. Right. So that you can make money, right? So for me, I really stress that people do their due diligence with the people that are sliding in your DMs and really, trying to get you to buy into what they're selling. Like, do research on that person before you even entertain what they're trying to sell you, because it's important.
Tell us a little bit about Philly Financial Literacy Week. I saw you did a lot of things. You broke a lot of barriers. I saw you at City Hall. Can you tell the people specifically what that week looks like?
So Philly Financial Literacy Week, actually, this past year was like, for me, it was, I actually did cry a little bit. Like, that's not even something to for me that I took.
Cry.
Yes.
But I had people come from Virginia, Brooklyn, and Maryland, Baltimore, Maryland, to come here to be a part of what we had here. And that was like, I was looking at this very small, and now I need to really see, like Nick said, I need to see it with a clear-eyed view. Like, I'm not looking real deep into this thing as to how I can really, change all the urban cities across the United States. But for Philly Financial Literacy Week, it's a whole week full of economic resources and education for people that look like us, that come from where we come from, that face struggles of not knowing how to manage ourselves and in our finances. I got attention from Philadelphia City Council and the mayor's office. I got a resolution for it. I have something in the works that I don't want to prematurely speak on, but it's going to really heighten what I'm currently doing with Philly Financial Literacy Week. And then on top of that, like, it allowed me to get into a position where I'm on the ground. I'm a lobbyist for financial education and our curriculum. And recently I actually was a part of a bill that was passed that put financial education made it mandatory for seniors to have to take it in the state of Pennsylvania.
Wow.
And it's more work to be done with that because I wanted to be K to 12, like a cumulative thing where you're in kindergarten, you're learning money at one way, and then when you get to your senior year, seniors should be graduating with knowing about credit, right? They should know about how do I put myself in a position to buy a home and all these different topics. So I kind of went like a little further.
I needed all of that. And don't try to downplay what you're doing, because I feel like you were downplaying.
Yeah,
but that is a big deal.
Can we just stop and take in the fact that he's 24 doing all of this? Like, you said that you're trying to push legislation so that there's like a curriculum from K to 12.
Yeah,
where people will learn how to, kids will learn how to manage money. That's huge, because I know when people think of millennials, they think that, we're just working. Yes.
Yeah, such a bad
Yeah, it's
rap.
just working. No,
But you're doing stuff.
You're doing the work.
And we appreciate that.
And I just want to thank you for coming on here and for sharing your story, for sharing your platform, and for also being as transparent as possible. We're signing out here at 20-something.
But wait. Where can we find you?
I was just about to say that. I was going to interrupt him for that.
Yes, please.
Don't do that. So,
Sorry, guys.
I am uniform. You can find me on every social site at Nasir Smith. It's Nisir Smith on every social media platform.